My name is Melanie Franklin and I'm the Chief Executive of Maven Training. The foundation exams across the board, they're all multiple choice. They might vary in the number of questions and the number of minutes you have to answer them, but essentially they are basic multiple choice, which means that you get one statement and you get 4 options and you need to identify which is the correct option. They're very straightforward. The critical thing, I think, when answering a multiple choice question is pick up a pen and underline key words in the question. Get your brain working, identify what you're looking for, and then look at that list of 4 things. That way you can find out what you're looking for. The best way to get the answers quickly. For the practitioner exam, it's what's called objective-based testing. What's involved there is you do get a scenario, so you are looking at how you practically apply what you know. So you're expected to read the situation, whether it's a project or a change or a program, and you're asked to apply what you know about Prince 2 or MSP or change management or risk to that situation. The kinds of questions you get, there will be some multiple choice, but a lot of them are what we call matching, where you have to try and identify from a description of something what might be the correct heading in a document or the name of the document or where in the actual process it takes place. It might be a sequencing question. What you're trying to do there is identify what's the correct sequence of activities. It's very good with those sorts of questions to try and work out ahead of time, what do you actually think is happening? What do you think is the correct sequence before you go looking for it in the answers? So that's what we're trying to achieve. And also within objective-based testing is something called assertion reason. The assertion is there's a statement, you need to find out if it's true or false. And then there's a reason. Is that an explanation of the statement? Is that true explanation or not? And then you have to see if they're both the same, if they are both true or they're both false. So assertion reason takes quite a bit of working out and really does test if you know what it is you're talking about. I think the main thing is you can bring in your manual. So if you're on a Prince 2 course, you can bring in the textbook. MSP, the same. The main thing, though, is to remember that that is for looking up critical details. We do know from people who fail the exam that the reason that they failed is because they've spent so long actually looking up all the details of things they already knew. It's just that they've got the book there and they think, oh, I'll just double check it. That'll be the best thing to do. But that's not the way to answer the exam. The book is there as a support. It's not there to look up every answer, but it is there, and that helps. To be honest, revision starts not the night before the exam, but probably during the pre-course preparation. For any training company, ask about pre-course preparation. They should give you things. They should give you the manual before you go ahead to the course. They should give you lots of things to work out. The more you know before you get to the course, the more you can ask your trainer about how everything fits together and the deeper meanings of things. So hopefully during the pre-course, you've got an awful lot of the terminology and the structure already in your head. So you're not cramming that during the actual course, you're actually putting it together. So I think it's fair to say that revision starts very early. And I think it's one of those things that the more information you can get in ahead of time, the much easier it is on the actual day of the exam. The first thing is to try and find out why. A very simple test is to have a look to see how you scored in the latter questions as opposed to the former questions. If you were scoring very high in the early part of the exam, but you got very few marks towards the latter 2 or 3 questions, I can almost guarantee that it was a time management problem. Because you clearly knew the material of the first few questions, you didn't suddenly lose all of that knowledge as you worked through the exam, but I expect you found that instead of spending 20 minutes on the first question, you may have spent 30 or 35 minutes. Do that a few times and you've got nothing left for the latter questions. That is usually the most obvious thing to look for. Then be honest with yourself. Have a look and see if there were a couple of questions in there. If you were scoring sort of sensible marks all the way through, but a couple really let you down, you can see from your results letter what those subjects were, and then you can find out, I should have known more about that. So it's about asking yourself, first of all, what was involved. Second thing though, talk to your trainer. You should be able to phone up for your ATO and ask to speak to the trainer. And when you do that, you get a little conversation with them and actually sit down and chat over the phone and say, help me out here. You know me, I was on your course. I expect you made a few records about what was involved. Can you tell me any advice? So stay calm. And the third thing is that it's people who pass the foundation and perhaps go on to fail the practitioner the first time. They have to remember they've got a qualification on their CV. They've got the foundation pass. So that I think is really important.